Wanted to do a video showing the Forster CO-AX press. A lot of questions come up about this press because it's so different than other presses out there. Wanted to show off what makes this, in my opinion, the best single stage press for precision loading that you can buy. So let's get to it. As you might be able to tell, I have a Reading T7 sitting next to it that hardly gets used anymore because of how much nicer the Forster is. But let's get to it. So this is the CO-AX. I have a competition seating die on there right now, but this is basically how you change dies on a CO-AX. You yank it out, you take a different die. That's it. I mean, die changes are this simple. Alright, so your die is floating here. Okay, it has front and back movement, which will help with self-alignment, but more so than that, your shell holder is also floating in every direction. Let me show you that. So the CO-AX doesn't use actual shell holders like, these, which you're probably used to. The shell holder is built in, and you can flip these around for smaller size, like 223 cases. The larger mouth works with 308 all the way to magnums. But basically, you lay your case right here. As you pull back on the ram, the shell holder closes and it grabs the case. So when you bring it down, it opens. You can pick your case back up. All right. Hope that comes out good in the video, but as soon as you start going up, it grabs the case. Now, what makes this press so nice and unique is the floating shell holder design. It moves side to side to align itself with the die, but it also, let me switch hands, it moves, forward and backwards. So this is a fully floating system. It will self-align. Couple that with the movement of the die has front and back. This is a fully floating system that will self-align. All right. So as the ram comes down, case goes in, it will align itself. All right. I got the short handle on my. I just got the short handle actually. The original handle is really long. This press has loads of leverage, and it is one of the only presses that won't put a lot of stress on your reloading bench when it's coming down, because most of the forces are in a different spot than on a regular press. When you're applying so much force to resize a case, for instance, it just doesn't exert a lot of force on your reloading bench. I mean, this bench isn't the strongest. It's, half-inch particle board. It's, not the strongest material. I see guys using 2-inch, 3-inch thick layers of plywood, but you really don't need that strong of a bench to have this press on there. It's got, let me see if this is coming out. Let me adjust the camera real quick. Alright, sorry about that. So, unlike most presses, it's got 2 rams in the back. Alright, that help align the bottom part of the press that travels. So you have 2 rams instead of 1, like on a regular press. Really helps with alignment. I mean, this thing is very, very sturdy. It has very little movement. Not that it matters. Again, due to the floating shell holder design, it really wouldn't matter if it had movement, but it doesn't. I mean, it's a really nice precision reloading press. The other thing that I really like about this press is the depriming system. On most presses, the depriming system, where your spent primers shoot down, is actually through the ram. And they have this part, the priming system, so they have to make a cutout over here on the ram for the priming system. And I've had a bunch of primers still fly out of there when I'm depriming cases. not to mention the spent primer residue will always collect around the ram, and it'll actually scratch up the ram. The residue is pretty hard stuff. I mean, I even heard that there's crushed glass in primer mixtures. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, it will over time scratch up your ram and possibly, just possibly, loosen up the tolerance, the fit between the ram and the body. On the CO-AX, your rams are in the back. Your spent primers go in through a completely different tube. See, this tube right here is only for spent primers, and it collects in this nice little sealed jar. So you can undo the lid and dump out your spent primers. It's a very, very, very unique system, that I've only seen on the CO-AX. So that's honestly about it. I mean, I never use my press to prime cases, but if you were, this is the priming system up here. Basically, lift it up, slide your case in, and prime. I mean, I've never used it. I've adjusted it, just in case as a backup, but I never use it. But as far as the press goes, I mean, I love it. It produces really good ammo, really low run out. I've checked because of the self-aligning shell holder system. It's also nice not having to buy shell holders for every caliber. I don't know how important that part is for you, but I don't have to do anything to go from regular 308 size cases to all the way to Magnum. It'll grab it. Well, that's about it. Hopefully that answers some some questions for people that are unfamiliar with the CO-AX. Let me know if you guys have any more questions in the comments. Thank you.